Hi everyone, my name's Amanda and I have been streaming on Twitch for about 2 years now. Recently I decided why not expand to YouTube and show you guys the things that I'm doing, but a little bit faster. So we are currently on my island called Ofoloto. It is a city core island, but it has a lot of naturey aspects, especially within the neighborhoods. This specific speed build is a build of my villagers Pekoe and Dobie's yard, and it was about a 4-hour stream or so, and I was able to cut it down into about a 20-minute video. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The area of my island that I'm using for the speed build is situated right behind my island entrance, and as you can see in the video, it's kind of a weird shape, so I didn't know exactly what to put there at first. After some thought, I decided that I could use the land to build 2 villagers a cozy little themed area to live in. All of my villagers are split up into pairs to share yards. I got Dobie, and I realized his house was a very unique style comparing to the rest of my villagers, so I went on a villager hunt to find somebody who had a house style that was similar to his. 3 days and 360 Nook Miles tickets later, while I was trying to find Genji, I ended up finding Pekoe and decided that she would be a great fit for the island. This area that I'm currently renovating used to be a flower field, so I had to start by removing all of the leftover flowers and building up and shaping the cliff. This took a little bit of thought because the area is really cramped, but I managed to make it work. I apologize for my webcam on the left side of my video. As I mentioned in the intro, this was footage from a stream, so I had no way to cut it out. My Twitch link will be in the description of this video just in case anybody watching doesn't follow me and wants to chat with me while I'm live sometime. For the voiceover of this video, I'll be popping in and out as I comment on things that I'm working on, but while I'm not talking, just feel free to sit back and enjoy the music. One of the first things I had to do was to go to Dobie's old yard and completely take it down. I really liked Dobie's old yard. It was my favorite of the villager houses that I had done, so I wanted to keep the same vibes for his new yard. Once it was time to place the houses, it kind of made me realize how small the area was. I wanted to give both of the houses one space between the cliffside and the house, but it ended up working best where both of them were sitting on an edge. I was a little bothered by it, but I decided to go with it and see how it looked once it was decorated. As you can see right here, I wasn't sure the exact size of the villager houses, so I overestimated a little bit. As I decorate yards, I usually get really distracted by one thing and end up going back and forth a lot, and this is one example of it. I look at putting stuff on the diagonal cliff and then completely leave it for later. Placing the staircase ended up being a bit of a challenge. I messed around with it a few times, but this was all of the space that I had to work with, so I kind of just had to make the space work. I ended up liking the end result though. As you guys could see from Dobie's old yard, he had a wooden porch that he had his rocking chair on. I thought that I would keep the same theme for his new yard, and I also gave Pekoe one so they would match. Placing the trees in such a small yard was really hard, but I wanted Pekoe and Dobie to have at least one tree in each of their yards, so they would have a little bit of shade. I ended up putting the bamboo trees in front of both of their houses and moving them a little bit later. This little green spot right by the staircase was also a bit tricky, but I ended up making it work. Pathing in this area was also a bit tricky because ideally I would have some kind of fencing separating the cliff from the entrance, but unfortunately that wasn't really an option for this. I ended up using this custom pattern overlaid onto the in-game paths to kind of connect my city area with my neighborhood area, because I use this custom design a lot in my shops area and my cafe. This alternating pattern of stone in-game paths is also a favorite of mine. I really like how it allows you to go around corners without looking too strange, because I feel like the in-game path really struggles with especially diagonal corners. Here's me yet again messing with the placement of the trees. I think this was the finalized placement though. I really like how Dobie's rocking chair is directly in the shade. Makes me really happy. The garden was a must-have based on Dobie's old yard. I used alternating red mums and red windflowers. I wanted to have a little bit of tree diversity up there, so I ended up planting a cedar tree. I ended up going with the stage 3 cedar tree though, so in that section I just planted a sprout. Maybe it's just me, but I think the handcart is one of the cutest items in this game. Since the shape of it was really strange, this little area behind Pekoe's house was very tricky to decorate. I ended up trying to recreate the painting area from Dobie's old yard for both Pekoe and Dobie to use. I thought it would be a great little overlook over the rest of the island for them to get inspiration for paintings and just have a good time. It's Thanksgiving, so I mean, of course I had to stop and admire the villagers and their little hats. I don't know if this is like a super commonly known fact, but if you plant a stage 1 fruit tree right behind a tree that is not done fully growing yet, you can stunt the growth of it and keep the tree small forever. The space in front of Pekoe's yard was a little bit awkward, but I kind of had a vision for it. I messed around with the furniture a lot, but the end result was pretty good. The katana item is honestly one of the coolest Gulliver items there is, and I was really glad that I was able to find a place on my island that I could use it. I ended up liking the Imperial low table a lot better, but I wasn't really a fan of the red. I ended up ordering a brown table from my catalog and fixing it the next day. I ended up stunting the growth of a bamboo tree right here just to fill some space. It is stage 3. The Zodiac Ox figure is another thing that I think is really cute, but I didn't find a good spot on my island for it until now. It goes really well with Pekoe's house colors, and I think it looks really cute just sitting on the stool. I placed a bamboo stop block in between the stone stool and the flower just because I felt like there was some awkward space. Here is me changing this area for the billionth time. This area to the left of Dobie's house was a little bit confusing to decorate as well. I tried placing the new bridge item, but I didn't really like how it looked, so I ended up getting rid of it. The bamboo noodle slide is honestly a really cool item, and I'm glad I found a place for it. The placement of the faucet and the bucket also confused me a little bit, but I ended up making it work. I ended up putting some hedges in between the painting area and Pekoe's house. I figured that you really wouldn't be able to see anything that I put there anyways, and I thought the hedges were a nice divider between Pekoe's house and the painting area. I ended up putting the gray brick well right by Dobie's house, and I thought it matched his house perfectly. Finally, my last burst of inspiration for this area hit, and I put that same custom pattern down underneath it, and I thought it filled out the area perfectly. Here is the finished product. I changed a little bit since the speed build. I put a pile of leaves to fill out some of the space. I put a little custom pattern of stone down right by Dobie's yard. That's about it, honestly. I think it looks really cute. I think it's really cozy. As soon as I get Pekoe and Dobie's photos, they will go on the little stone stools, but for now, they're just little places for them to rest. Also, Dobie in his rocking chair. Cutest thing ever. Thank you guys so much for watching my first ever YouTube video. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe because I have so many more builds that I have done on stream that I am working to create into videos for you guys right now. Also, starting out on a brand new platform, anything helps, so I'm really appreciative of anyone who decides to support. I'm a variety streamer and I stream almost every day, so stop by my Twitch if you'd like to see some of my content live sometime. See you guys in the next video and have an amazing day!